Hello and welcome back to Get Up and Game. My name is Josh, and in this video I'm going to be playing another game of Marvel United. This time we're going to be playing two-handed, taking Daredevil and Elektra up against Bullseye. I know I keep saying I'm going to play the Spider-Verse box next and then something else keeps coming up, but the friend of the channel who painted the minis, Nick Hansen, reminded me that I did have a Bullseye mini that he sent me, so why shouldn't I play the Bullseye villain? And I had planned on it, and then I just slipped my mind when I said I was going to play Spider-Verse next. So we're definitely going to play Bullseye in all his ferocious glory. I will say I've looked at the scenario. I have not played it yet, and it looks absolutely terrifying. So to that end, I went to the Facebook group to ask if there was sort of a community-approved way of handling the locations, because it looks like Bullseye could easily win if he deals enough damage to knock us both out. So the temptation there is just to include a bunch of healing locations. But being new to the game, I wasn't sure if that sort of thing was frowned upon by the community, if there was sort of just a general way to approach it. So I asked around, and it turns out there is not a general way to approach it, near as I can tell. Some people lean more into the theme and don't worry about the difficulty. Others like to go fully random. So then I would like to present that question to you, the viewer. How do you all handle the locations in this game? Do you like to just go random? Do you pick out ones that are going to be particularly helpful for your scenario, some mix in between? I would really like to know, because I'm still figuring that out for myself. What I'm going to do in this video is I've got all the locations that I think are relatively thematically appropriate for this group. Basically New York locations. There are quite a few different ones with the various expansions and whatnot. So just sort of a street level theme. There might be a few in there that don't quite fit, but I wanted a large enough amount to make randomizing it worth it, because that's what I'm going to be doing. I've got like 13 to 15 right here. I'm going to shuffle these up, grab 9, and then out of those 9, I'll discard the 3 that I don't want. So that's kind of the method I sort of made up over the last 10 minutes or so to try to get a random mix but keep some theme in it, and also not just cherry pick all the healing locations, as tempting as that might be. So we'll see if that ends up being a good way to do things or not. So let's go ahead and randomize these as best I can. I did buy the cardboard ones in the last Kickstarter with an eye towards keeping them randomized, and then I was planning on keeping the thinner cardboard ones in their expansion boxes, sort of if I wanted to play with a theme. So I'm gonna have these things. I might as well use them the way I intended to. So they are not the easiest things to shuffle, though. I'm just trying to get a decent mix. All right, so now I'm just gonna grab the top 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll set the others aside. Yeah, it looks like I had about 14 of them. And then, so let's see what we have here. The headquarters lets us discard a thug. Lets us swap a card from our hand with one of the storylines. Always nice. You can get a movement token. We can add a civilian to a location, then rescue one from this one. We can place an action token from the pool on a threat or power-up card. Oh, here's a healing one. We're definitely keeping that one. This will give us a punch token. Search your deck for 1 card and set it aside. Place that card on top. And open another healing one, so we'll keep that one. So I'm kind of cherry picking, but at least I didn't have all the healing ones. So we have 2, and then we just need 4 more. I usually like getting a card back. That seems good. The ones that give you tokens seems good. Let's go with the one that gives you a punch token. That's 4. I like... Bullseye doesn't have an overflow. Simply, you just lose if there would be an overflow. So the idea of being able to discard a thug easily is appealing. And for the last one, he has some really, really nasty threats that you absolutely have to clear or you can't even win. So we'll go with the Sanctum. I can see them ending up in there somehow. So that's our 6 locations. So let me go ahead and finish setting up the board, and then we'll go from there. All right, I think we are all set up. Now I am going to be playing this on the heroic difficulty, so we have no wilds in our deck. That's probably a terrible idea because I'm telling you, this looks really tough. Bullseye wins if he gets 2 KO tokens. So if we get knocked out a total of twice, that will be the end for us. We'll just keep those handy right here as a constant reminder. And like I said, he doesn't have an overflow. If he simply can't put a token out, then we just lose. And then the way his threats work, he has 2 copies of this hiding place. If he's in this location, he can't take damage. Not too worried about that one now, but there are also 2 copies of this diversion. As long as his threat is in play, heroes cannot defeat Bullseye nor win the game by any means. And there's one of those here and here, so we absolutely have to clear these 2 threats to even win, period. And then he has 2 copies of this Striking Unseen, that heroes that are in the location with this threat take an extra damage whenever they take damage, which is really going to accelerate our getting KO'd and thus losing the game. So I think this might be a quick one, but we'll just see how it goes. So Bullseye, of course, takes the first turn. Quick shuffle on camera. And let's see what he is going to do first. He's going to move 1. And he's going to do an impossible shot, deal 2 damage to each hero in the location opposite to Bullseye. Well, I think we're going to be safe there because he's going to move 1. Thankfully, he's not putting out any tokens. And then he would do 2 damage to everyone down here in Queens. Nobody there. So off to a good start, or at least off to a safe start. So now I should have drawn the heroes' opening hands, of course. So Elektra has her 3 cards. She's going to be starting with her Master Assassin for some double damage, Ninja Trading so for some other double damage, or probably more importantly in this scenario, she can get an invulnerable token. That's going to be nice. And then just a regular punch. So very punchy. And then Daredevil. His 3 cards. He's going to have a move and a heroic, his Blind Justice that gives him a movement token every time he defeats a thug on a turn, and then his double heroic. Well, I did have a quick look at the way his cards work, and they're similar to this. There's a couple of these where you don't want to be opposite from him, and then there's a couple where I think you don't want to be in the same like half of the board as him. He could damage you that way too, and we definitely just want to try to avoid damage as much as we can. So basically staying away from him, but not opposite from him, seems to be the way to go. And we need to clear these diversions. That really seems like job 1. We get those cleared while also making sure there are no overflows. So we've kind of got a lot on our plate. Feels like you probably just want to try to win as quickly as you can. So that is what we are going to do. So Elektra has her 3 cards, and then she draws a single heroic. Now I wanted to play this particular game for 2 reasons. One, it's Elektra and Daredevil versus Bullseye. That's pretty darn thematic. You know, there's a lot of bad blood between all these people. Bullseye's killed Elektra at least once. I want to say maybe twice, but I know he's done it at least once. And then, of course, Bullseye is Daredevil's nemesis. But somebody had also suggested in the comments of one of the last videos where I was trying to determine if I liked solo or 3-handed better, that why not split the difference and play 2-handed? And for some reason, I had just got it in my head from the beginning that 3 was the right way to go. So I've kind of always played this with 3 players. I've played it with 4 players once with friends, but I've always played solo with 3. But yeah, why not? Let's try 2 and see how that feels. And overall, I'll probably always just be doing a mix of any number of players, just depending on the theme of the villain we're fighting or the characters, things like that. So there'll probably be a range of player counts while I play this game. Well, I think Elektra is going to start out by playing her Master Assassin. It's going to let her move and also do 2 punches. And we want to definitely be keeping these locations clear. So she is going to move up here, and this is not a great place to be because of the Striking Unseen threat. If she takes damage here, she's going to take extra damage. But this is the only movement card, and she pretty much only has attack icons, so it's pretty much all I have to do. So that's what she is going to make the most of it with her move, and she's going to hit the 2 thugs there. And that is going to be the end of her turn. See what Daredevil's got. He's got a decent mix in his hand, plus he draws another single heroic. And like I said, I think one of the most important things is to clear these diversion threats. So we're going to make use of that single move that Elektra left over and also use a double heroic. So he's going to move down here and start working on this diversion threat. And that'll be nice for Elektra next turn. So that's the end of Daredevil's turn. Back to Elektra. I do kind of like this two-handed. You get to bounce back and forth between the two heroes. That's kind of nice. And she gets more punchies. Well, she's definitely not going anywhere. And she's got nothing to punch, so we'll go ahead and use this single heroic along with Daredevil's 2 that he left over. And we'll just go ahead and clear this striking unseen threat all in one shot. So that'll be nice. There's the first one of those off the board. And at the end of the turn, you may swap a card from your hand with one of your cards in the storyline. That doesn't seem bad at all. She just has the single punch, not very exciting. She can get her Master Assassin back. I think that will definitely be much more useful. So that is our 3 turns. So now Bullseye's going again. Pretty much going to be real nervous every single time I flip one of his cards. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So he's going to move 1, and he is going to bam. Deal 1 damage to each hero in both locations adjacent to Bullseye. Oh, he doesn't attack in his own location. Interesting. I know he is a ranged fighter, so that makes sense. Well, that worked out. And then he's going to put a thug, 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 and thankfully there is room, so we don't lose immediately. Well, okay. So we've still got Elektra's single heroic to work with. It's Daredevil's turn. He's going to draw a heroic and a punch. Well, that single heroic left over is going to be nice because I can clear this 1 diversion. And I think we'll probably just head over here and start working on this one. We got to clear these up quickly. We have no hope of winning otherwise. So we'll make use of the single heroic from Elektra. And he's also going to play a move and a heroic. So we'll use the 1 to clear this diversion, get that off the board. Clearing that threat, which will reveal the end of turn ability. If you have 1 or 2 cards in your hand, you may draw a card. So here's a nice healing spot potentially. But he is going to move and just get started on this one. So we are not off to a bad start at all. So now it is Elektra's turn. She's hanging out with Bullseye, but there's not much she can do there. So she draws a single punch. Now, I didn't take a super close look at Bullseye's cards. I just quickly read his specials, but I'm realizing now I wish I'd have paid attention to how many tokens he puts out. I would hope, by the way he is designed, that he never puts more than 1 token in each location. Otherwise, you could just lose really easily. So I'm guessing as long as we leave at least 1 spot open in each location, we should be safe. She has a move and a heroic from Daredevil. That's really nice. And I think we're just going to focus on defeating thugs and not worry so much about the civilians, depending on how things come out, of course. I think she's going to use her ninja training, which is going to give her a move, a punch, and a heroic. And then we're going to use the option to make her invulnerable until the beginning of her next turn. So she's going to move here, use the punch to take one of the thugs out of Osborne Laboratories, and the heroic to get started on this hiding place. Try not to leave Bullseye too many places he can run to and be protected. Speaking of being protected, she won't have to worry about taking damage next turn. And back to Daredevil, we did leave a punch for him. He has his radar sense. Gain either a heroic or a punch token for each location you enter this turn. Well, he won't be moving more than once. Well, if I don't move, I'm going to be wasting the punch that Elektra gave me. I honestly don't know how big of a deal that is in terms of Marvel United strategy, but I don't like the idea of it. So we're going to go ahead and use the radar sense, which is going to give us a move. And then we're going to token for each location we enter this turn. Well, we're only going to be entering 1. So we'll move up here, just kind of keep the locations cleared up. We'll take out this thug with a punch Elektra left over, and then he gets a heroic or a punch token for each location. We'll just take a heroic and then immediately put it on the hiding place. Now we're kind of spreading ourselves out, but I don't really know for sure where we're going to end up clearing the threats, so I don't mind getting them started. And as long as I'm leaving some room on each location, I'm hoping I'll be safe. Plus we left Elektra in movement, which is nice. So that is going to be our turn. Up comes Bullseye. He's moving 4 and then bamming. So let's see where that ends up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, thankfully he's right next to Daredevil, so that means he can't hit him. And he is just going to put out some more thugs. Now, he could have damaged Elektra because the BAM is each adjacent location, but thankfully she was invulnerable, so we didn't have to worry about it. I got so focused on him being there with Daredevil, I forgot Elektra was right there, but either way, we're safe. Gotta say, I feel like we're getting really lucky. I was fully expecting to be taking a ton of damage this game, so I suspect we're just getting lucky. So now it is Elektra's turn. She is going to draw a move and a punch, and she already has a move. So it's looking like it's her job to keep the thugs off the board and Matt's job to do all the justicing. All right, Elektra is going to play her move and a punch. She's going to use her punch right where she is. Just keep this location nice and low. And then she's going to move back over to Stark Labs so she can take advantage of the end of turn action. May swap one card from your hand with one of your cards in the storyline. Just want to kind of keep getting back. This ninja training seems good. Lots and lots of punches. And then we'll just put her single punch in there. So that is her turn. Leaving Daredevil with a move and a punch, which is awesome. He is going to draw another move and a punch. All right, Daredevil is going to play his Blind Justice. It's going to give him a movement token for each thug he defeats this turn. And he already has 1 movement. He's going to be able to defeat 2 thugs, so it's going to get us 2 movement tokens, which is going to be really nice for the future, I think. So we'll use 1 punch to defeat the thug here at the police headquarters. Then we'll use Elektra's movement to come back over to the Sanctum, punching this thug out, getting him 2 movement tokens, which I think we're going to hold on to because I'd like him to be there to try to finish off this diversion. And when the time comes to start chasing Bullseye around, if we get to that point, those are going to be nice to have. So that's the plan there. So that's the end of Daredevil's turn. Going back to Elektra. She drew her Psy, deal a punch in both adjacent locations. Okay, that could be nice. And she has a punch from Daredevil. Now we have to be careful because we're only 2 thugs away from completing a mission. But we've still got a little ways to go on clearing the threats. And she's just not much help with that right now. Really all she can do is attack. So I'm thinking now what I should have done. Might have been smarter just to grab that single heroic there. Even though that's not a very exciting card. That might have been more useful right now than just blindly grabbing the punches. Though I do like the idea of her being invulnerable. I guess we'll do that. We'll play the ninja training. She'll have 2 punches total. And then we'll do the second option to make her invulnerable. So she'll use 1 to punch here. The other will just go to waste. And then she's invulnerable. And then again, if we want to swap a card from her hand with the storyline, I think we will do that. I think that single heroic might end up being more useful in the end than, say, this double punch. So we'll put that back in. Get the heroic back. And that leaves us with Bullseye's turn. Trying to keep everything straight on the table. I think we're okay. So Bullseye is going to do Master Assassin. He's going to move clockwise to the next location with no heroes. That would be here. And then Master Assassin, deal 2 damage to each hero in both locations adjacent to Bullseye. There it is. There's that damage. Well, thankfully, Elektra's got some really handy ninja training, so she can't take damage. Daredevil, on the other hand, he failed ninja training, apparently. So we are going to have to lose 2 cards. He's got 2 movement tokens, so I could probably live without this. So yeah, I guess he's going to lose these 2 cards. It's the bottom of his deck. And if he gets KO'd, then we're 50% of the way to losing the game. So not a great place to be. We might have to consider ending our turn in queens, try to heal up a little bit. And that is going to be back to us. He does have a punch along with a punch. Well, okay. And we're one thug away, so we really kind of have to slow roll the damage here for a minute. I do not want Bullseye activating any more quickly than necessary. So, yep, we're going to play the heroic and the punch. We're going to spend... We're going to use a heroic here on the diversion. Still trying to get that off the table. And then we're going to use a movement token to come over to queens. I think we might be hanging out at Peter Parker's house. And then we do have a punch, but we have nothing to punch, and we probably don't want to use it anyway. And so at the end of the turn, if you have 1 or 2 cards in your hand, you may draw a card. We have 1. So he's also drawing his The Man Without Fear. Gain a movement token for each civilian you rescue this turn. All right, well, we haven't been doing that, but we might need to. So now it's back to Elektra. She is no longer invulnerable. And she draws a movement, and she's only got 1 card left already. She's got a heroic and a punch. We don't want to punch anything just yet. Matt is going to want at least 1 heroic next turn, and he does have that. But we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to let her move. She's going to move back over to where Bullseye is. Use the heroic left over by Daredevil to try to finish this one off. So maybe if we can get these 2 done, we can quickly try to win the game. And that is going to be the end of her turn. So back to Daredevil, who has 1 movement at his disposal and another heroic. Well, I think this is going to work out nicely. We're going to play the heroic. So he's just going to move and finish off the diversion. And then the heroic will be left over for Elektra next turn to clear the hiding place. And then hopefully we can just quickly chase Bullseye down and take him out. So that is our 3rd of 4 threats. And now at the end of the turn, you may place 1 action token from the pool on a threat or power-up card. Oh, interesting. So we can finish off the hiding place now, then we don't even have to worry about it. That would put Bullseye under pressure, but we've already gone 3 times, so that doesn't cost us an action. Yeah, I think that's going to work out really well. I don't see a good reason not to do it. So we'll put the token on this threat to clear this hiding place. Seems good. Which will clear this threat, which will put Bullseye under pressure, but he was going to go right now anyway. And let's see what happens. He's going to move 5 and bam, and put out some tokens. Oh, he's going to position himself right between us. How do you like that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to bam, which means Elektra and Daredevil both take a damage. Okay, well, thankfully Daredevil was able to heal, so he doesn't get knocked out. We're just going to give up. Well, the Man Without Fear is a special card, but I don't know how much we care about anything other than punches at this point. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have him hold on to his punch. I know that could have gotten in movement tokens, and we might end up needing those, but that's my thinking anyway. And then, yeah, she's just all about punching at this point too, so we'll discard that. Okay. Now, if Daredevil hadn't had a chance to heal, that would have been our first KO, but we're okay there. And then we're putting out a civilian, a thug, and a civilian. So close to losing the game there at the police headquarters, but we did have a little bit of space. Now it is back to Elektra. And we just need to defeat 1 thug, but of course Bullseye is in this hiding place where he can't take any damage. What are the chances? He's skulking around in the police headquarters. The last place you'd think to look for him. So we need him to come out of there, or we got to clear that threat, and all I kept were punches. Well, we'll see what we can do here. So we're drawing a move and a punch. And we have 1 heroic left over from Daredevil. Well, I guess we're going to use the move and the punch. We'll use the I guess it doesn't really matter here or here. We'll just do the punch there. So we defeated the thugs. Bullseye is vulnerable to damage, except he's not because he's hiding. But we can move over here, and we can use that heroic. Maybe we can just clear the hiding place, and then we don't have to worry about that anymore. That's going to leave Daredevil with a move and a punch. That move might be nice. Hopefully we draw a heroic here. Ah, we did. Nice. Nice, nice. So we're definitely going to play that. Don't have to think too hard about that. So we have a move, a punch, and a heroic. We're going to move here. The heroic clears the hiding place. And the punch is kind of tempting to take a thug off the headquarters just to be safe. But we're going to go ahead and hit him. He's got 5 hit points. So there's the first one. He's down to 4. And at the end of the turn, you may discard a thug from any location. Oh, well, it's hard to predict where I need it from, so I guess we'll just take the one off the mansion. Hopefully I don't live to regret that. And then, so that is the end of Daredevil's turn. We did all his stuff, but now that Bullseye's under pressure, he's going again. So he's going to move 3 and bam. So he's moving 3. That's putting him pretty far away. And then he would damage here and here. We're okay there. And he's putting civilian, civilian, civilian. Okay. All right, now it's back to Daredevil's turn, and we are running out of time here. Like, really, really running out of time. Daredevil's got 1 card, and he's going to draw a move and a punch. He's got a movement token. Okay, that's good. He's got this heroic from before. Oh, wait, it's not Daredevil's turn. What am I doing? It's Elektra's turn. Sorry about that. She draws her last card. It's a heroic, but what we need is movement, and she cannot quite get to him. And the Psy won't reach him because she can't move anywhere close to him. Oh, this isn't good. Well, then I think all the best she could do is try to set Daredevil up with some movement. So we'll move. I mean, it's so hard to know where to put her, right? Because he seems to move at a pretty random rate. But I guess she'll get to go again before he takes his next turn. So she'll move closer, trying to reach him. And then she's got 2 punches. I guess we could have used one here before she left. And then she does get a punch token from the Osborne Laboratories. So if she is able to get to him, make good use of that. But that is it for her. She's out of cards in her deck. And, oh, she also had a heroic from Matt, so I guess we'll rescue a civilian. Now we'll take Daredevil's turn. So he's getting a move from her. Yeah, I mean, we got to do the best we can. So he's going to play his move and a punch. So he's going to move 1. He's got to move from her and then spend his movement token. Coming all the way down here to chase him down just to hit him once. So I don't know. This doesn't feel good. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull this off. Because, well, it's Bullseye's turn now, actually. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. If we take damage here, we take an extra damage. Okay. He is going to stay put, and he's going to bam. Well, that's actually incredibly good news. Wow, because the bam won't damage any of us, because we're not in the right spot, and we don't have to chase him down. That was incredibly lucky. So crazy lucky. So nothing happens. And it is back to Elektra's turn. She has a move and a punch. And then she can hit him with this Psy because she can't quite get to him. So she's going to go ahead and play her Psy here. So use the move from Daredevil. Her Psy will deal a damage in each adjacent location so she can hit him once. And then she's got some other punches that we can't really make use of, including this token that she can't make use of. And then we go to Daredevil, who has 1 punch and 1 punch left over from her. He's got 2 health left. So we managed to win the game. Oh my goodness. I thought it was going to be hard. Then it seemed like it was easy. And then I almost lost. If he had done pretty much anything else other than, where is it? yeah, other than stay put, I don't think we would have made it. Because, yeah, if he had moved 3, for example, he would have gone here. I think he would have been too far away at that point. I think we would have lost because we were just about out of cards. They were both about to play their last card. So, yeah, pretty much if we had drawn almost any other card in the deck, we probably would have lost. So that was awesome. The heroes always find a way, right? And sometimes it's just blind luck. No pun intended. So thank you so very much for joining me. That was really fun. Really, really fun. I love these characters. This is one of my favorite parts of Marvel. I'm a big fanboy, so I like pretty much all the parts of Marvel. But I do like this one especially. So it was really fun getting to hang out with Kingpin and Bullseye, Daredevil, all these characters. Thank you so much, Nick, for the painted minis. They really enhanced the experience. It was so much fun. And thank you, My Mini Movie Magic, for suggesting playing two-handed. That's played perfectly into the theme. That gave me the idea to even do this. And I really, really liked two-handed. I wasn't sure how that would play out. It seemed like since there were 3 hero turns between villain turns, like it just made sense to play 3 players, right? But it was really fun bouncing back and forth between 2. I quite liked that. Now, I will continue to play a mix because as I play through the expansions, I'm going to want to use like certain groups of heroes, but sometimes it'll be fun to have a pair. Sometimes it'll be fun to have a full team. So we'll just see as we go. But yeah, that was a really good time. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm having an absolute blast playing through these. I'm pretty sure I'm going to play Spider-Verse next. I keep saying that, but I really do want to see Green Goblin. I keep hearing how hard he is, and I super, super want to see that because we haven't lost a game yet. That one was really close, but we're on quite a streak, so let's see if Green Goblin can bring that to an end. But until then, I look forward to seeing you next time we get up in game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.